Good morning. Today we are continuing on with those proportions in real context. Today's type of proportion is CO35. I can use partitive proportions in real context. And we're thinking to ourselves, partitive. I've never heard that term before. What in the world is that? Once I explain it, you're going to start to go, oh, I kind of get it now. So we're learning new vocabulary for something that we already have an idea of how to do. So a partitive proportion means we're dividing a whole into proportional parts using ratios. So we know ratios. We're going to be working with those ratios in a new way. So partitive proportions are very similar to ratios, objective CO29. Your thought process should involve dividing the total into parts. So we're going to do one together. We're going to divide 300 into groups with a ratio of 2 to 3. So we're going to think about that. I'm dividing 300 into how many parts? Joe?
3?
No. Finley? 5, because we have 2 on one side, 2 parts on one side, 3 parts on the other side. We have to add them together to see how many parts altogether. So 2 and 3 gives us the 5 parts. Okay. So this is how it's a little different than what we've done, because we're adding our parts together to see how many parts altogether we're dividing it up into. So we're going to divide that 300 by 5 parts. So N is going to be the amount in each part. So we had a 2 right here, so that's where we get our 2N. We have a 3 over here, that's where we get 3N. So all together we have 5N equals 300, because we combined 2N plus 3N. So then we know opposite operations. If we have 5N equals 300, how do we get N by itself? Holland?
Divide 300 by 5.
Yeah, we divide both sides by 5. Remember when we have that 5 right there, it's multiplied by N, so the opposite is going to be dividing by that 5. 5 divided by 5 is that 1N, which is just N. 60 divided by 5 is 12. Right?
We don't have that. Ours.
Oh, so he just wrote it all out. Okay. So, you got the top part with the 2 to 3. So he skipped that working it out. He skipped the thinking part, so you're going to have to write that part, right? Oh, goodness. So let's go back so we can see what we need to add. So you have the 2 times 60. All right, so this part right here, we need to put in so we understand what we're doing. Okay, so we need to know how to work this. So we have 300. We have to see how we get down to that 60. We have to figure out how much is each part. So we had 2 parts plus 3 parts equals our 300. Does that part make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So 2n plus 3n gets us the 5n. That equals our 300. Then we have to see how much n equals, doing those opposite operations. So dividing both sides by the 5, that 300 divided by 5 gets us that 60. So each part is worth 60. So you can do some of that in your head, right? That's why he didn't write out all of those parts. You can look at that and say, okay, 2 to 3, I'm going to add that together and say, oh, 2 plus 3 is 5. So I need to take my whole number and divide it by my number of parts. 300 divided by the 5 parts gets me my 60. Okay? We're going to go back to this equation right here. Right? 2n, 2 times 60. How many pieces is that in those 2 parts? 2 times 60 is 120. 3 times 60 is 180. Then you can check your work. Is 120 plus 180, does that equal the 300 altogether? That's how we check, did I do it correctly? Does that make sense? We're going to work some out together. Just know, key things. Add up how many parts there are. So add up all the parts to the ratio. Divide your whole by how many parts. Then go back and multiply each of those ratio numbers by how much they equal. Does that make sense? Kind of, sort of. Let's check. Let's go and work some out together where we have some space to work it out. Sometimes doing the work helps. So we're going to divide 64 into 2 groups with a ratio of 1 to 3. So our ratio, we know, is that 1 to 3. How many parts is that altogether? Finley? 4. So we have 4 parts. What do we have to do with that information? If I know there's 4 parts and altogether it equals 64, what do I do? What was that first step? Elliot?
Divided by 64.
64 divided by those 4 parts. I need to find out how many parts go into each of those sections. So what is 64 divided by 4? Ellen?
16.
What do I do with that 16? Ellen?
You multiply 1 times 16 and 3 by 16, and that's a ratio.
So I take my ratio, 1 times 16, 3 times 16, so I know 1 times 16 is 16. What is 3 times 16? AJ?
48.
What do I do to double check my math to make sure I did this correctly? What can I do? Clara?
You can add 16 and 48 together and see if we get 64.
What is 16 plus 48? When I put it into the calculator, what do I get? Madeline?
64.
64. Oh, I needed 64 altogether. So is this a correct ratio? It is. Let's do another one together. Divide 600 into 2 groups with a ratio of 11 to 13. What's the first thing I want to figure out? Ellie?
How many groups there are?
Yeah. How many parts? What's 11 plus 13?
24.
So now what do I do with that 24?
600 divided by 24.
I do 600 divided by 24, and what do I get? Cam.
25.
Now what do I do with that 25? Joe?
Multiply 25 by 11 and 13.
Yeah, I multiply that 11 and that 13. I multiply both of them by 25, and what do I get? What's 11 times 25? Finley?
275.
And what is, oh, that was messy, I wasn't looking. What is 13 times 25? Well,
325.
what do I do to check my math? Alan?
Add them together.
Add them together. If I take 275 plus 325 and I put it into my calculator, because checking it, you have to use that calculator to check it. What do I get, Hunter? 600. Did I do my math correctly? Yeah, because that was my full 600. Let's do one more together. Divide 450 into 3 groups with the ratio of 4 to 5 to 6. What's my first step? Holland.
Add 4, 5, and 6 up.
And what do I get?
15.
Yeah, 4 plus 5 plus 6 gives me 15. What do I do with that 15? Hunter?
You divide 450 divided by 15.
I do that 450 divided by 15. What do I get? Colin?
30.
30. What do I do with that 30? What's my next step? What am I going to do? Who haven't I heard from that's gonna be brave? You wanna do it, Ellen?
You multiply 30 by 4,
Yeah.
like 5 times 30 or 6 times 30.
I take each part of that ratio and I multiply it by 30. So what is my new ratio? If I multiply each of those parts by 30, what do I get, Gavin?
122, 180.
Now, what do I do to check my math? I can't just say, oh, yep, done, moving on, because I want to make sure I got it right. So what should I do, Gavin?
Add them all together.
Add them all together. What do I get if I have 120 plus 150 plus 180? I put it into my calculator to check it. What do I get, Ellen?
450.
450. So did I do my math correct? Yeah, because I wanted 450. It is important to check your math. If I add all the parts of the ratio up, do I get my initial first number? Okay, so you want to double check that because it's really easy to make simple mistakes. So I truly want you checking your work. Okay. So the bottom is more of the same. You're going to do those last 3 on your own. I want to take a moment to look at our second page that has the word problems. Because sometimes those word problems can get a little intimidating. So let's look at that second page. A man raised $81,000 for his son's middle school and high school. For every $5 he gave the middle school, he gave $4 to the high school. How much did he give to each school? What do you think I need to do? Thinking about what we did on the first page, how can we make this word problem look like the first page? What do you think? Close your hand up or no? Gavin?
Add 4 to 5.
So the first thing I would do is I would label my ratio. Okay, so Gavin's right, we have that 5 and that 4. But I need to know, because I need to say how much he gave to each school, I'm going to label it. That 5 goes with the middle school, and the 4 goes with the high school. So I'm going to label my ratio so I keep straight which number goes with which part. Then Gavin said, well, we need to add those together. So 5 plus 4 gives me 9. What do I do with that 9? Clara?
You divide it, you divide by 81,000
have that 81,000 divided by 9. What is that, Cam? 9,000. Because I know there were 9 parts, so I divide my total by that 9, and I get 9,000. What do I do with the 9,000? What's our next step that we've been doing? What did we do on that front page? Go ahead, flip it. What did we do once we found out how much each part was? What was our next step? I have to multiply each part of that ratio by this. So I have my 5, I need to multiply that by 9,000. I have my 4, I need to multiply that by 9,000. So how much money does he give to the middle school? Ellen?
45,000.
How much money does he give to the high school, Laurel?
36,000.
How can I check to make sure I did my math correct? AJ?
Add 45,000 to 36,000 and see if you put 40,000.
So in your calculator, if we put 45,000 plus 36,000, what do you get? Clara?
Wait,
Madeline?
81,000.
That's how much money he divided out. I did my math correctly. So I know the middle school gets 45,000, the high school gets 36,000. Does that make sense? So we're doing the same math that we did on the front. We just have to figure out how to put those numbers into the ratio. You add up all the parts to the ratio. There might be, sometimes with word problems, extra steps we have to do. Like in yesterday's objective, we had to find the total cost. Okay? Always look through that word problem to see what that final question is. Okay. Do you want to do one more together, or do you want to just get going? One more together? Or you want to get going?
Get going.
You guys are comfortable getting going? All right, if you have questions, come and see me. I'm going to give us some work time before we switch into theology. If you get finished before our work time is up, you can work on packet number 6. It is a quiet work time. Make sure you're checking your work. Make sure you're not making those simple mistakes. Check your work. And because it's word problems, go back and figure out what the actual question is asking us for. Do I need to do any more steps? If you are watching this at home, I hope you are well. I hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful day.